The final game on the poll that I will be reviewing is Battletoads, specifically the arcade version, which was developed by Rare and published by Electronic Arts, which is a beat-em-up game that was released in 1994. I'm going to be playing Battletoads Arcade on the Xbox One due to the fact it was re-released along with the original Battletoads on the Rare Replay Collection in 2015. Now, why aren't I reviewing the original Battletoads? Well, you know, I have footage for this game, and I didn't capture footage for that game, plus I haven't beaten that game yet. So I'll check that game out in the future, but pretty much I don't really have much info on this. Like, was it, for example, they decided to go more over the top with the violence because it was an arcade game. Plus, was it they were going to port this version onto Super Nintendo and Game Boy, but they decided to cancel those ports because of, this wasn't really successful in arcades. So, this caused the whole series to go into hiatus for 26 years until that mediocre reboot came out. Now, that's all the information I got, so, you know, we might as well just get into the game, why don't we? The game story is just basic as shit. Pretty much the sexy ass Dark Queen is like doing a bunch of bad shit, so you need to stop thinking with your dick and start thinking with your fists so you can stop her. You use B to jump and A to fight and LT to rewind, which in my opinion is kind of weird ass controls considering that these controls do not apply to a console, so they could have made A to jump or like X to attack. Plus rewind I kind of felt was useless since you have infinite continues because you're not using coins. Now where this game feels like a downgrade is that they made this solely a beat 'em up and not a fusion genre, unlike the original, which was a beat 'em up / platformer. You have 3 playable characters, which are Pimple, Zitz, and Rash, and I chose Rash since, come on, he has blackout sunglasses. That is like one of the coolest things a character could have. The main villain is the Dark Queen, which she is sexy as fuck to say the least, and she gets her goons to fight you, so you know, you don't actually get to beat up a woman in this game. So the first guy on your hit list is this dude called General Slaughter, who's a fucking like pig thing. And so yeah, let's get into the first level. Now I won't talk about the levels that much since most of the levels are like this. They're just side-scrolling beat-em-ups. So I'll mainly just be talking about the enemies and the boss. So you fight these rat and pig characters, and these pretty much distinguish on what type of enemies you'll be fighting throughout the game. You either fight really easy enemies or enemies that take like a little bit more effort. General Slaughter's an easy boss fight. He runs at you, you hit him down, and then you kick him, you know, pretty easy. I don't really have much to say on this boss fight, it's fine. The next dude you gotta kill is Karnath, who's a big ass fucking snake. The second level's a snow level, which is kind of weird when you consider that the last level was on top of a spaceship, when that brings on a whole new criticism. The level transitions make no sense whatsoever. The interesting enemies in this level are some reindeer that just ram at you, snowmen that throw their balls at you, and mice midgets. Now the Karnath fight, you just beat his head until it fucking comes off, and those are some good graphics right there. The next person on your hit list is the Dark Queen, which is untrue since you don't beat her up, you actually beat up the Robo-Rat. Again with the level transitions, now all of a sudden you're climbing up a ship and you were just in a snowy ass pit, so you know, this makes no fucking sense once again. The only interesting enemies here are these buff ass rats where you just need to commit CBT to defeat them. The Robo-Rat boss fight's pretty easy, you just have to keep beating it until its parts fall off, and while that's happening, the Dark Queen's titties are moving, so you know, it's epic. After you defeat Robo-Rat, you get this bonus level where, you destroy a plane with an innocent live in there. But, you know, they probably deserved it. Who knows? Next person who's getting crucified is a fat fuck who's a secret boss. Ooh, spoiler alert, his name's Big Black. The next level does something a bit different from all the other levels. This time you're going down a pit while you're fighting fat-ass gargoyles, eyes, and what my penis looks like. In the next level, you're in a fucking mansion, and there's not really anything interesting about this level, but there are these cool 3D balls, so I guess that's cool. In the Big Black boss fight, he just, you know, tries to beat you, but he can't since he sucks, so you just keep beating him, and he's into inflation, so he inflates randomly and tries to stomp on you. So he's also into anal but you just beat him until his belly button falls off, and all the link comes out, because, you know, this game is made in the 90s and crude humor was at its peak. The final guy you have to fucking kill is Robo Manus, and yeah, he's like, what the fuck is that? No, seriously, what the fuck is it? Like, is he a reptile? A fucking xenomorph? Like, what the fuck is that? The next level, we're flying in fucking space! We shoot at space shit like chairs, fireballs, missiles, and explosives. Honestly, this is just the best level of the whole game. Like, they peaked like right at the end. Now we are here on the final boss fight, Robo Manus, and fun fact, you cannot do any damage to him in the first 45 seconds of the fight. You shoot at him until he bugs out and shit, and then he fucking dies, and you beat the whole game. The game ends with you teleporting back to the Battletoads base, and there's a dumbass toad pun. Before we get to the conclusion, my kill count was higher than David Parker Ray's, but lower than Adolf Hitler's. Now, is this a better version of Battletoads? No, it's not bad. It's very mediocre. It's a huge downgrade from the original NES game, so you might as well just play the NES version. I will say the art style is really good, and graphics are pretty good, especially since it's an arcade game. So at the time they looked way better. But yeah, this was a major downgrade, and I can see why this left the series in over a 26-year hiatus. No, speaking of downgrades, Madden 25. You see, every Madden game is a downgrade, and Madden 25 should come out in around. So this video was recorded in 2022. It should come out around in 3 years. So I'm guessing that game would be an even huger downgrade from this game. I wonder what it tastes like. Tastes like plastic. Lucifer.